All right. Today is October 26th. This is episode 40 of Talk Story. We're live from First Shop in South Beach, Miami Beach, Florida. USA. Here we are.
It still is.
Still is.
We weren't getting into politics. I'm just kidding.
Just geography. I'm Brad Wells from Thank You Surfing.
Christian De La Iglesia, First Surf Shop, Division Wynwood.
And we got some special friends over here to my right.
Rudy Dubois.
Rudy from Rudy.
Rudy from Rudy. We got the Billy Goat.
Billy Marshall over here.
Bless his heart.
And over here at the controls, as always.
It's just me.
Your
Don't worry
favorite
about
back of the head, Caleb.
Well, maybe not the favorite.
What if you
Whoa!
Yeah,
You know what it
zing,
is?
zing.
This is past the kids' sleeping
Just
time.
get
It
a
is.
mirror and put it in front of him like that?
That would be pretty funny.
We did that once when we were from over there.
Right.
You
Weird.
could see me in that mirror.
Well, that would be pretty funny though if we had like a mirror right here the whole time, so you're able to kind of see him back.
Yeah.
That would-
we could do it.
Look at you. What are you, photographers? Artists?
Also,
Lining up
Keegan
shots.
Keegan the intern.
is back at his post.
We should have a mirror
Bobby,
for that,
I don't know if there was like a blood brawl back in the alleyway to get the
See who made it
internship
out.
position back. But,
Keegan, well, you know, I'll tell you what.
Bobby
Keegan,
is coming back in hot, I heard. So watch
Keegan,
out.
well, what one today was that Keegan came in wet. He was out in the water. There was hardly any waves. There's no waves. It was like the Micronesia, the angry inch out there, you know.
Ah, the
But he
angry
came in wet. He did a little
new one
the
I
angry
haven't
inch.
heard
He went and skimmed a little bit, albeit on a $30 Walmart skim board. Wood.
It's really
Is
good
it?
for breaking your ankles and wrists.
There
Really
is-
good for that.
Doesn't float at all. There is no flotation.
Okay.
So that's how he won. He was in the water more than Bobby.
Oh.
So Bobby, you're done. Just kidding. I love
So
you,
you get in
Bobby.
the
You're not
water.
done. You're back in.
Who's Bobby?
You know Bobby. Tall Bobby. Bobby Cos used to be from Hugo Fresh. He's always around. Kava, Schedule 1.
Oh, yes. Okay, yeah.
How does the Schedule 1 work?
What's the shoe he's on?
Weekly happenings. We don't know the intros. We all
Lots
know
of
who we are.
weekly happenings.
So many weekly happenings. All right, first we're gonna go with all the ones that you dropped in. There was
Midnight Madness, 40 years.
40 years. IWS.
Shane and
The
Lindsay
Cottrells.
are holding it down over there.
there you
40
go.
years of making things happen. And even within that weekly happenings, I just recently found out that our little buddy here, Billy Marshall, is working over at Green Lines.
Oh yes.
Green Line Surf Shop. That's a little bit of a weekly haps.
Oh my God, we're just gonna add more haps to the haps.
That's what's happening. And so IWS had their 40-year anniversary last week. Before that, you had Nomad with their 50-year. We just hit our 10-year just before that. So a lot's going on in October in regards to starting things.
Yes, I started things a long time ago in the surf world in Florida.
Apparently.
October is the best.
1968
October
for Nomad.
was
I
the
know.
month.
It's
October's the
unreal.
month
so
for that.
crazy.
Unreal.
68, so that means then IWS is 78 and first surf shop was 2008.
Where's Nomad at exactly?
What a great time.
Imagine that in the 60s, huh?
Incredible.
Yeah, it's another level. So congratulations, guys.
That's awesome.
On your 40 years.
40s and 50 years
for
to have a surf shop.
IWS and 50 years for
Any
Nomad.
business really is just incredible.
Yeah, I mean that's heritage stuff right there,
It's super
Supposed to be
cool.
there.
for sure. What else you got, Billy?
Yeah,
Won the
surf
wake
shop?
surfing contest that Nomad had.
On the log.
Yeah.
So Nomad, part of their 50-year anniversary was the fact that they had a surf contest attached to it. It was
there
flat.
was no waves.
It was flat, and at that point they brought a little ski boat.
I couldn't believe this.
Did what most wave pools are kind of emulating, and kind of just drew some surf across a little shallow sandbar, Sally by the seashore. Jesus,
It didn't work.
it's there, it's in there.
We'll get there.
But by the sandbar and created a little wave, and Billy
This guy wins.
Wins. You got $600 in the new board.
Yep.
Attaboy. That's amazing.
So yeah, what we did was they gave you a wave to the inlet and back. So you get a right and then a left on the way back. So it's top two waves. And then
You only get 2 goes? Or?
All right,
goes.
so you weren't necessarily on the shoreline as they were
Fresh.
doing that. You
That
guys
was
were
the
out in the
Groms.
water.
That was the
those
Grom
Groms.
level.
Okay, got it. All right,
So
so
had
you
the
guys
longboard
are
division
actually out there.
in the 20-foot deep water.
Killer.
So it was super fun, yeah.
What do you think? What do you think won you the contest? Were you able to kind of walk up?
Nose
Yeah,
riding?
nose riding and cheater fives.
Were you able to kind of
couldn't
hold it a little
believe
bit?
that.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
a fucking 9. How big's your board? 9.
9-9. I rode Justin Quintal's 9-9 in the heat and went good.
Nice.
I couldn't believe just like cross-stepping and nose riding behind.
holding it.
Yeah,
A lot of fun.
that was pretty nuts.
All
right,
who's got
what
a
do we
ski
got?
boat? I need to surf.
Red Tide is in full effect in Fort Pierce.
Yeah.
Fuck,
Yeah.
that sucks, huh?
Looks like Martin
got
County,
kicked out.
St. Lucie County.
You got kicked out?
Kicked out, booted, yeah.
They wouldn't
Me
let
and
you surf?
Lanzo, yeah. Culture shock.
Wow.
How long is that? How do you get that out? How's that?
Oh gosh, this is a long one. We're not even gonna get into it.
Rubbing
today.
alcohol?
The problem.
No.
I think it's like a lot of bleach. Just go ahead and just.
How do you get it out of the ocean?
That'll get the color out.
Governor Rick Scott, have you thought of bleach?
It's a good idea. Usually
Because it
gets-
looks like it worked on your head. Sorry, whoa! I thought we weren't going political. I'm sorry.
Yeah. So, anyways, it's like more of like there's the surf report and the red tide report lately.
Check both,
It's kind of a bummer.
because Fort Pierce looked really good today, but apparently.
Off limits.
Looked really good, but it looked really
In
empty.
better news, Keegan won first place in a swim meet.
In the 500?
Yeah,
You gonna swim what?
500 meters of what? Freestyle? Free.
In other Keegan news, he now plays the trumpet.
Yes. Another
Amazing.
Keegan news. It was in the 10 and under category and is 15.
Oh.
Where he won. I'm just kidding. JK Keegan, he killed it.
I didn't get it.
Well, the kids were 10 and under, and you're 15. It's only.
He actually drowned the other kids.
Well, he got first in
Keegan.
one, and then he got third in the
How old
other after losing his goggles.
15? Oh, it's a good year.
Can you hear me now?
Been alright at 15.
In other, I guess, good news, I've heard that Nicaragua is, if not settled, at least calm for the time.
Really?
So,
Their action? Is that what?
well, there's been a lot of just craziness that's happening since the springtime, and we've been talking about it here and how it became rather unsafe for people just living there,
Right.
let alone trying to travel around and stuff. Lately, it seems like the violence has kind of settled down, and people seem to be traveling around. The beach towns aren't affected,
Right.
And so I guess when we were before saying like if you're gonna go, it's a little scary. Now the report seems like if you're gonna go, definitely go because the waves are cranking.
And if you're going to go, catch one for me.
Yeah.
It's going to be a little while before.
And I guess, if you got the time and the money, go now because they could definitely use it after like that, like really terrible
Right.
sort of.
And especially more so that the news is going to get out there like
What's
that. People are
causing
going to
it?
want to go back there. And then when season gets
Oh,
actually
goodness.
really good from December moving forward, it's going to get packed and it's going to get a little bit more expensive. So, yeah. maybe a
golden
little cheaper.
opportunity
Right
to get there.
is right now.
As a government issue, the people kind of uprise about
It's like that
some
big
sort
thing
of
that
social
happened in
thing.
Peru, right? Where is it Peru? Where everybody's doing that big walk right now?
From Honduras.
all the way.
Honduras.
Yeah, it's a
Dude,
whole other.
Yeah. Fuck it
Thought
up.
we weren't getting political.
No,
'Cause
just
I can go
that's
there.
it.
That's not even a political issue.
I
I, mean,
know.
that's like a
Humanitarian
humanitarian
issue, right.
issue at this point that's been politicized.
Well, there's a lot of
Anyway,
shitty situations going on in a lot of
No,
countries.
I was saying good things. Nicaragua is actually kind of like coming back, at least in terms of safety
Right.
and like being able to travel around with any worry
Right.
for your personal safety and things like that. So that's good. Other news. I was up at my parents' house and I got all my old shaping tools back from the old shape shop.
You know what's
And
great about
so
that? Is that I have a
got
bunch.
ideas.
Yeah, besides that, I got plenty of those. I've got a couple boards. I've got a couple of old, beat up epoxy stand-up paddle boards that we can just pull back the skin a little
Intern
bit.
Keegan is raising his hand.
And yeah, we can go and mow
Nose
through.
rider.
A lot of foam.
I'm gonna have to saw it this way. I'm gonna have to
it
saw
really?
it this way.
There's a lot.
I could probably, yeah, I can get like,
Lot of that.
right. I can get at least 2 inch, at least 2.5.
that?
There's a couple different things going on here. I was just starting to think, I'm like, it's about 5 inches.
Math.
I'm like,
Math.
I'm like, that's
Yeah,
math
all the
thing.
tools.
Yeah.
All right, so we can get 2 boards out of it.
You could probably use the shaping bay at Little Haiti.
It's all in the works. This is what we're talking
This
about.
is all works. Works is happening.
I got a shirt for him.
Green Lines.
Green Lines.
439 East Atlantic Avenue, Delray Beach, Florida.
You're
Come
in-
by, see me, grab
How-
a pair of board shorts.
How far away from the beach are they?
Right over the bridge on Atlantic.
Yes.
very
Yes, they are.
close.
Yep.
I love them.
Super cool.
That's great. Green Lines, Delray. Do it. Delray's a fun spot.
Yeah. We got to check that out, especially coming into winter. Maybe do a little surf, talk story.
Well, we've been talking about our talk stories and taking it on the road. Billy's just like, yo, let's make this happen already.
Let's do that.
All right, I got to get our topic.
Speaking of,
I
yeah,
gotta-
let's
I gotta-
slide right into report forecast. I think report has been.
Got some waves today.
We had fun.
Caleb.
Don't play hot chick on me. What is it, Bradley? Give me it. Where are we getting waves?
I mean, goodness.
How do I own a surf shop and not know?
How long you guys been flat?
So busy.
Well, no. Let's get into this really. Today there was a little bit of a northeast swell that did filter down into northern Palm Beach County.
Oh, well, yeah.
Did you say?
Trace kind of showed down here south. Heard Davo got a couple waves
This
morning. Probably
and
on
he
the
was
incoming.
claiming, he was like, I think I might have gotten the first waves of the first north swell of the season.
Literally.
And then I was like, well, Annie too, Roger, and
They were out
Allison Walker
yesterday.
were out yesterday, last night. And then all of a sudden we went back and forth, and I was like, you know what? You were the first person that got the dawn patrol of the first swell of the season. So, good for you, David.
I might be able to go back into the end of September to show Northwell down here.
Is it officially the season, or is that still kind of like the end? Like, I feel like hurricane season ends one season, and like the winter creates the beginning of the
This is exactly what we're talking about today in the report and forecast, and then our first topic actually.
I didn't
so
even
we've
do that
got
on purpose.
What's that? I know. I did for once. Yeah, winter's coming, and so this is the season that we start to see cold fronts come, which is really the prime of our season down
So
here.
it's
in
the
South
reason for
Florida.
the season.
And we had a cold front come through, give us slightly cooler temperatures, a little bit drier. Everyone was talking about
By
how nice
cooler
it was.
temperatures, do you mean that there's less
83.
humidity?
It was like-
There was less humidity. Cooler temperatures.
I mean,
How's that fall?
It was fall, beautiful fall day.
This
in
guy was
South
wearing a
Florida.
top this morning.
He's
Sweating.
like, he's like 140 pounds wet.
It
Of course.
I was chilly
You
until
put
I started
layers on like
paddling.
me, and you'll be like,
If you don't have that warm humidity hug, you gotta
Yeah,
layer.
you just have to paddle.
how
Right
funny
now,
is
all
that
you
though?
have to
Like
do is paddle.
living
Yeah,
here for a
it-
little
I
while,
had to
you get you
take
so
it
used to the
off.
humidity
It's too
that
hot.
once the humidity is wiped out, all of a sudden it's like in the shade, you're like, oh, it's a little cooler out here. It's like
I was
oh,
walking in the
burn.
sun.
It's like 79.
The other day, walking to lunch, I was trying to
4
go.
degrees. You're like,
I had to walk in the sun. I was like, ooh, I'm gonna catch a chill. I gotta get out of the shade here.
We're the worst.
83 degrees out in the shade.
but now's
You're
when you start
cold
seeing
where
the
you
north
are,
swells. So
move
it starts
here.
happening.
So yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So we got a low that's supposed to come across the Gulf and across northern Florida.
Is this the former hurricane known as?
This is no. This is just a.
This wasn't the Pacific hurricane that came up, drenched everyone. The low kept on coming across, or is this after that?
Oh yeah. I guess it's all associated with that moisture.
Oh.
You're right. You're right.
That's
Moment of clarity right now. This is why my eyes are really large. Moment of
He's
clarity.
like,
moment of clarity.
She went way back on that. He's like,
Yeah.
and before that, a butterfly flapped its wings in the desert.
That started it all.
And started off. He's not wrong, folks. He's not wrong.
So that's what caused this wave right now?
the butterfly, yeah. Nah, so what he's referencing and what I'm talking about is a low that's supposed to come up. And this is the time of year where you start to see these things go off the coast, and if they go in that little nook, we get a north swell.
A nook?
And not a nuke. If it goes right there between North Carolina and that Gulf Stream, that's like perfect for us.
Yes.
And that's when you like to see it just sit there and stall and throw down north swell. Unfortunately, the last one that just went up didn't do that. It went right like over land. Close, it was like 200 miles off the course.
So
to
do
be
we
a good
have a
swell maker.
chance?
Next time around, you got another chance coming up, maybe tomorrow-ish. Another kind of small bump possible.
Waves?
From
tomorrow?
that potential,
And-
from that low that we're talking about,
So
Exactly.
lost.
that's coming across. How
How about
about
tomorrow? or what? That's all
Yeah,
right.
and
The
so
waves
and
are
then longer range, we have another storm that's actually tropical in nature.
Yes.
That's coming along and is putting in what looks like good wind in the.
Comments. Check out the comments.
Oh.
Keegan.
No. Yeah, listen.
He's telling Keegan to do his job. Don't worry.
Keegan, go do your job.
Carry on.
Yeah.
He doesn't know how to do his job, so don't tell him how to do his job. That's how we do it.
Everybody's doing their jobs.
So you were
He's
saying
like,
about this,
he's actually, you guys aren't even on. I forgot to press the button before.
bastard. Bobby, you're hired again.
Bob, please come back from wherever you are.
We'll
Work around your schedule, benefits. I mean, the whole Social Security thing we talked about, it's back on the table.
we were just giving Keegan free soda.
Not even that.
I know.
I got him
We're
a
so
pack
horrible.
of gum
Do
once.
we have to give more to Keegan? Is that what it is?
Yeah, I'm working on it.
It's incentive driven.
Yeah,
But
Bless his heart.
for Miami to get the right north, it needs to be in that window.
it needs to be in that window.
And that gets even more complex. So you're getting waves back home now. No?
Yeah. You got
would take
you saw a
weekly?
little bit, more up in Delray, Palm Beach County.
Right. So that the second low that you're talking about, it's a little bit off our coast and stuff like that. And what you're saying that the winds were kind of good for us. Are we looking at a wind-driven stop, or are we looking?
No,
at...
it's the same thing as the last time. It's like Bermuda Triangle things. It's like, how the frig did that actually create a little groundswell down
Right.
there? It's really, I don't know.
What?
I really,
I'm talking
can't
about the
figure
second
that
low.
out.
The second low.
Now we're talking about a
Yeah,
low
that
that's
one.
been coming across the
Right.
Atlantic and has.
This time of year we call that extra tropical.
No, it's still a tropical. It's trying to be a tropical
Oh, that's
system.
right. Season's
What
not
defines
over.
the tropical coming from
Well,
tropics?
It's
uh,
it's a warm core
Go figure.
low during the general tropical season, and it takes on certain characteristics that are more like a tropical storm than like a extra tropical, which would be more cold core. Anyway.
Yes, but it's important because there's probably a lot of people that probably wonder why do they call something extra tropical.
Yeah.
It's just like, oh, do they throw a little extra tropics
little
in there?
juice in it.
What's
Yeah,
going
a little
on
extra
there?
juice.
And it's extra tropical because of the time of the year,
Time of year, and the
and
characteristics
location,
and the
right.
characteristics
Right.
of the
Boogie
storm
Doma.
itself.
Right. So because within that, lows are lows. Whether it, in a sense, whether it's tropical and coming from the ocean nature and that becomes a hurricane, blah blah blah, or that is coming over land and brings cold fronts and everything else. There's still a low. They're either one. Both is a low. One is more tropical. One is the other. Right. Again, I am talking super basic.
Yeah, it's
So
one
confused
of
right
the things
now.
that happens with tropical lows is that they tend to be
tropical loads.
much more compact, and they sort of do things that don't. I don't know. They don't comply or make sense with like what a normal low would do. A lot of times our lows will move with a lot of the other weather patterns. A tropical low will kind of like do its own thing and move westward across the Atlantic, whereas
Tropical.
most storms move with the with the jet stream at that time. And like,
Right.
it's a
Energy's
that's why
more
they're-
compacted with the
yeah,
with the
it-
tropical low
it's a-
versus.
exactly. That's
I
part
mean,
of
it's
it.
good to know. I mean, there's probably a lot of people that don't know that.
We surfing tomorrow? What? Like,
He wants the Reader's Digest version.
yeah.
So the point is, we got a chance with this tropical low that's moving across. Not even a chance. It's a certainty at this point. It's
We're
putting
shooing.
putting in wind in the east swell window
What
of
time
the
are we
state of
getting
Florida.
waves?
We're talking like midweek, Halloween
it's
time
tomorrow.
period, up coast, Central Florida.
Halloween swell still prevails
It's not going to be big.
years later.
Not going to be big, maybe, but it's going to be like a fun Florida-sized swell all the way like through
I'm
31st
off on Halloween's.
through the second.
But it's gonna make it down
Let's
here.
do it. No, it's a Wednesday.
It's not. So we're not surfing.
Wait, whose car are we going in? Because my truck ain't gonna make it.
It's about more than
When does
just
the
when
February
you can surf, Rudy. It's about just knowing where the waves are going.
Who wants to go up coast?
All right,
Can't go up coast because the fucking
there's places. To
red
still-
tide. What
Anyway,
is that shit?
Well,
Winter
this
is
guy's up
coming.
to Jupiter
Figure it out.
in Juneau.
Winter is coming. Is the whole thing. The seasons are changing here.
Right. Weather changes, things change.
What's you guy?
He is back.
Let's do it.
There's three there. It's either one of those.
Come on in. Don't be quiet.
What's happening?
Well, we're not.
Welcome.
Welcome to say hello. So winter's coming.
Grab 'em.
Cold fronts are
You go for
coming.
it.
Season's going to change. This is a time of year where I think maybe I should have moved further south and just got away from any sort of cold whatsoever.
Do you get cold easy? But you're from the north. How do you get cold easy?
My blood changed. It's like, it's gone. I'm pretty sure. I think that I'd rather surf in warm water, given the opportunity, really.
I mean, maybe there's something in that because I've lived here my whole life. I played water polo in cold water, and somehow I love cold water here to surf in.
Wait a minute. You played water polo in cold water. How cold was the water?
I don't know. You can get like up in the upper 60s. Upper 60s? Is that not cold? Sorry, guys.
That's like room temperature. You're like tepid water. I got a little chilly and tepid.
It's like 68.
Low 60s.
There, thank you. See?
Low
Keegan.
60s.
These kids, they're good for something. Low 60s. I know they were
Good for
cold.
something.
All right.
My
I
gauge
mean,
on cold or whatever. So anyways, I know that it's done enough for me that when it gets cold out, because when does it really get cold out here? I mean, like,
This is
you
what
know
I'm
what?
saying.
It's like the air temperature cold, maybe water. The coldest it gets around here is like 68 degrees.
Yeah, that's kind of true. And
But
we
still,
did have,
come to First and buy a wetsuit.
Sure. Please do.
It's
We
a
got lot of
very. It's like it's not like dry heat. It's like the cold, dry.
What we're trying to say is the water gets freezing, so please.
Not the heat.
remember
You know, like
to
dry
get
heat.
wetsuit.
Everyone's like,
Thank
oh,
you.
dry heat's the best. It's
Yeah,
just
dry cold is the best too.
not if you're not if you're a surfer. You're like,
No, if you're
Too
wet,
hot
it's,
for this shit
yeah.
right now. Dry heat, cold hot.
What are we talking about? We talking about coffee or we talking about tea?
talking about winter.
Yeah, I get it.
You don't like winter?
Yeah, I like winter.
Winter's coming. Game of Thrones.
Yes. What do you like about
I don't
winter?
know. I just got to keep saying that. I've never even
clothes.
watched the show.
More clothes.
Saw a commercial.
See, that's something that winter's coming. You gotta wear more clothes.
I like the seasons. We don't get much seasons here. It doesn't get that cold, but it definitely changes. It's not the same right now as it was.
Yeah, it's
a
just
month
one
ago.
season.
That's what I'm
Hot.
saying.
And
Oh,
it's
come
a little
on.
less
It's more than
humid.
that.
It's a little better. It's nicer.
See, you're saying
Right.
this
The sun,
December to February.
the sun is
Lot nicer.
definitely at more of
How
an
can there
angle.
be
you know,
four
so it's
seasons
super
in
nice.
Florida? There's
That's it.
only one season.
That's
Which
the one
is
thing I dislike about
Bikini season.
like summertime.
this guy.
Like summertime in Miami, the sun kicks your ass. It's hard to be outside. Now it's nice to be in the sun.
Yeah, the angle of the sun changes. I noticed that
It's
for
nice.
sure.
It's
Yes.
nice. Nicer sunsets.
Sorry, the bikini
One thing
season.
that does kind of suck is the evening session kind of gets chopped.
No, it just got cut short. I mean, it's pitch
Well, you
dark
gotta
by
get out of
7
work
now,
early.
and the time's going to change in another couple of weeks, and it'll be pitch dark by 6.
Don't like that part.
No. Especially because we're open till
Early
8, and all of a sudden it
You
feels
don't
weird.
get
You're
like
like,
rest
what am I,
is
a
not
bar?
early, dude.
I get up early these days,
morning,
getting up a
so-
little earlier when
No.
there's waves.
9
I
o'clock?
still,
Kid, I've got a kid.
8 o'clock.
Early mornings
7:30.
means
No
nap.
way.
Yeah, yeah.
How do you get away from that? You're just like,
pushing.
oh, guess you need some help.
Yeah,
Oh, you want to
relax.
eat, huh?
All right. Apparently, these topics are boring everybody tonight. We're all over the place. This is
All right.
so far a
Winter's
very
coming, we're getting waves. Cool. What's next?
van life part 2.
Yes.
Oh shit.
Here we go.
Here we go. Lean into it.
Rudy.
This is the Rudy monologue.
Hello, hello, hello.
Is this
Yeah,
thing
yeah,
on?
You're on. Bring it around.
So let's maybe give a little context here.
Yeah.
Rudy's been on the show a few times.
Yes.
Excellent repeat guest on the show. Love having Rudy on.
Justin Timberlake in the Lake Show.
Something like that.
Yeah.
Something like that, Keegan.
Or
It didn't
SNL.
stick.
Or
Yes.
SNL.
Yeah,
I don't know.
something.
It might.
So Rudy just moved out to California as a van.
It's a very small van.
It's not that small.
I mean, it's smaller compared to
It's like Ford Transit
Right,
size.
right. I'd
You
like
know,
to
it's
compare
like-
it to
it's
what the
a- it's a
vans are
fun
out there
size,
because,
yeah.
nonetheless, there's a different grit that's involved in being able to deal with the van life. You know, van life in general, there's a certain grit that's involved. Bigger van life, a little bit easier. Smaller van life, you know, there is some serious determination.
Well, there was
It's
a
a
thing
little
that just
complicated.
started. Was like he's gonna go live the van life. We got a little of that.
Right.
Hey, you guys. I'll
So-
see you guys
right,
later.
right.
Van
it was
life.
the
peace out.
ambition and like
And
not
now
going into
we've got the like. Oh, actually, so this is what van life is. Part 2.
hard dose.
Yeah, well, so it's the size of the van is a big deal. It's like your living space.
Size matters.
Size
Still.
fucking matters.
Sprinter
It's amazing.
So
the move.
The teenage
you just start off the bat. You don't want to set yourself up for failure, but any smaller than I have a old '86 Toyota van, you know, small. It's
egg.
5 by 7 in the back.
Jesus.
That's the size, 5 by 7 and a small roof. But I've been able to work it out, and it's something that's temporary for me. Oh, that was my initial thought. I didn't want to really invest into like some kitted out van, and then I do it for a week, and I'm like, this sucks. I said, oh, I'm gonna do the cheapest possible scenario. Well, a friend of mine gave me the van. I was able to
Right.
fix it up, whatever.
Figure it out.
I'd build it out, and I left it kind of open, acknowledging like you don't know what you need and what you don't need when you're out there. I mean, I've traveled before. I have a good idea of what I could roll with and what I can't. There's a lot of variables that you would never have been ready for.
Right, and it was kind of one of the questions I wanted to ask you because it was earlier yesterday when you stopped by. We kind of briefly touched on this a little bit.
Yeah.
And for me, it was a little fascinating to hear the excitement in his voice when he said, "I found a new spot."
Yeah.
What kind of new spot?
Right. Well, a new parking spot.
Yeah.
Oh, a new parking spot.
Because
And more so because I don't know if before you got into the van life that would have been something that would have meant as much to you
have no
as it
idea.
does now.
Look.
And it's interesting to in talking to him, hearing these experiences and watching from where he was at originally when he first was moving out there to where he's at now, seeing these experiences happen and what that changes in your expectations.
Well, so I've been out there 2 months, right? Month and a half, 2 months, and a big part of that I was working, and I flew back in between that. But the last, let's say, 3 weeks, I've been fully dedicated to the van, and like I haven't had to work, or I haven't had to like park the car and fly for a job or something. It's just like straight in the van, and with no time, do whatever the fuck I want. There's a lot of variables that you don't take into consideration. One of them is definitely like, where do I land at night? Where do I park? And my thoughts flying out there was, I'm gonna go and sleep on the PCH, and it's awesome, and I surf every day, and
weather's great all the time. I'll just slightly crack my windows up, and I'll be fine.
It's cold as fuck. That's one of them. It's not cold.
There's no insulation in the van.
No,
Yeah,
it's cold as fuck.
It is hard metal, and it gets cold.
Forget about that. I'm Cuban, and I was raised in Miami.
You get cold fast, though.
It's cold as
you
fuck.
super cold.
So
No matter who you
that's
are.
something that you didn't think about. And then you think about certain small things like, I want to park at Malibu, which you can't, but let's say I want to park the block over from Malibu on the PCH.
You gotta wait like for those.
No,
parallel
let's just say you get a spot.
Right.
But you forget, you don't know what it is, how loud cars are passing the PCH. The sway of the car passing you, and the car goes like this. You can't sleep like that. You can't. It's not going to happen. It's stupid. So you have to...
And then what happens, like, if you have so much water or beer
What are you doing,
the night
Keegan?
before?
No,
like, all of a sudden you're
it's
like,
just not
2 a.m. you
feel
wake up,
right.
you're like, man, I gotta pee.
So, but I'm just saying, so finding the right parking space, you have to say to yourself, like, what is that I want to experience when I want to wake up in the morning? And you add that to how do I want to feel when I sleep? And it starts like getting hard to find a spot to suit that. I don't want to wake up in next to a wall and in the fucking garbage. I want to wake up and be like, this is why I'm doing this.
Walmart.
Yeah, no, who the fuck wants to sleep at Walmart? Like,
Yeah,
that's
right?
terrible.
Everything you need.
No, but I don't,
Right next
no,
door.
I have what I need. I make
Wave.
coffee in the morning. So I
Or
said
the
to
lights.
myself,
Lights are
I
too
try to
bright.
sleep at a one with Wave next door.
so I say to myself, all right, so
Good spot.
what am I doing tomorrow? Loosely, I want to surf Malibu, and whenever I do laundry in the middle of the day. So I say, okay, cool. How far of a drive? How far can I land?
Wants and necessities.
Yeah.
You start formulating
So
what
I
you
said,
gotta
okay.
do.
So, but it narrows down when I say I expect an amazing view when I wake up, and I want to fall asleep to the sound of the ocean, but I don't want cars to bother me when I sleep.
And I want to do all this on an affordable budget.
And I want a level ground to sleep on. The van can't be like that. I have
Right.
blocks in the van to level the van out, whatever. So then I know if I'm in Malibu where I go. If I'm in Ventura, I know where to go. If I want to go a little bit further inland, in Topanga, I know where to park at to suit that.
Yeah, it's like full-on life hacks.
You have to have that, and
It's
that
life
took me.
hacks.
That took
Really
me
is.
like
Yeah, it's-
at least a month to figure out, because
Yeah,
there's
for
so many
sure.
spots, and there's like emergency spots. What if I just need a? What if you want to disappear with the significant other? You gotta have those nooks and crannies set up quick. Then you say to yourself,
Gotta be a Google map somewhere.
It's not that, because some places don't let you park overnight.
And do you put the fireplace thing on your computer so that it feels like you have one going on the inside?
you'll
I just
log.
like a little life hack for you. Here you go.
Lava lamp.
I super bad. So then you say, so I just found a cool spot and I was pretty psyched on it.
That's awesome.
It was really rare to find that spot. I think they're doing construction there, so they removed the signs from no parking from 12 to 5 in the morning. So they removed the signs. So, and it goes up on a little levee. It's sick.
You need a couple cones.
Yeah, it's sick.
I
Official
don't think they
phones.
work with that van.
So
No,
I mean,
when you
what if you
leave your
put like
spot, you put a couple
What if you put one of
cones.
those iridescent or like orange or yellow kind of stripes on the side of the van that's like kind of like a reflector. But it's like,
you
this
seen
thing
the
looks like a
van?
safety vehicle.
Yeah.
Have you seen the van?
Yeah, that's the van.
I don't think that's gonna.
No, it's.
yeah.
But you know, that was another thing that I was really worried about. Brad,
I love
for
that.
me, I got
Stripes are not
worried.
gonna do
Remember
much,
that
guys.
my van might stand out too much. I was scared that it has a unique shape, so I said, "Fuck, I don't want to catch like heat." God, you know, I don't stay. I
Dude,
mix
California,
right.
it's
Yeah.
a- it's like-
There's
it's-
fucking Greyhound buses that are brushed matte black, and then there's like a car on top of that as the roof.
And this is like on the side of the road.
On the side of the road. Like that's
California, you're
there's
so liberal.
everything,
Yeah, I
every
love it.
type, and then there's different levels of the van life people.
So good.
There's that level where they're like super hippie, and then there's the surfer kind of just
That's a level.
in
you
a
have to
couple.
black
there's like,
mat, a
then there's
Greyhound.
like okay, so there's like super.
I got a ways to
It gets
go.
weird. Like it could be like, you know, expat or something. It's like super weird, and then it gets hippie.
So what you're saying is there's weird in California.
Oh my god, it's
yes.
fucking freaks,
Yes, there is. The
dude.
whole West Coast.
I
right?
love
night,
San
all the way
Antonio
from the southern
freaks.
tip of California all the way up to the northern tip
Oh,
of
this
Oregon.
fucking freaks.
So good.
But okay, you get the weird expat, hippie, then you get the
Drunk.
like
Just kidding.
the surfer kind of vibing out, looking for waves, who crashes in his van. Then you get like the Instagram van lifers, which is not real, but I've seen them. The fake van lifers.
Shut up.
Yeah, I've
there's
seen
a
them.
fake van.
Fake?
Yeah.
There's a fake van
The
like
whole-
that.
That's
like-
when you post it and
Yeah.
you
That's
don't
what
sleep in your
that's
car. and
actually
you
like
claim
in
that
my
you
mind
do.
probably what I want.
I
That's what
fucking
he's
seen
saying.
them.
Is that what you're saying?
The fake-
So they
the
pretend like they're
Instagram
living.
van
It's
lifer.
clamping.
I've seen it. I've seen it. I've seen it.
That's
They're
what I
doing
want.
photo
Fuck
shoots
yeah.
and they peel out. You know, I never see them again. The people who live in their
I'll
vans.
tell you who you are. We're gonna call you out.
Yeah, no, the people who live in their
Based
vans.
on what he's saying, he's like, I want to take a nap in a van. I don't know if I want to live in a van.
No, here. So then you got like.
Just saying.
You want the
It
van
sounds
to go
I can't.
for the
I
nap
think this
in
depends on the
between
size of your van.
Yeah.
So then
Like,
there's like
This sounds like a good place to
so
nap.
the fake van lifers, but then there's real van lifers who are like the couple real van lifers. Usually there's a map with the whole kid and they got their whatever.
Right.
But they're thugging it out and they just came from Canada or whatever.
Right. And they've got a couple plants and they're in like solo cups.
They're not fucking around. And then there's like
No,
the
they wouldn't
surfer
be so
van
cups are
lifer.
really
And I'm
great.
somewhere between the surfer van lifer and then the van lifer where I don't have a home. You know, I live in the van. All my apartment's rented out.
That's what it's all about.
So then but for you to you got to put effort to not feel like you're living in a van. And it's like, yo, this sucks. I'm in a van.
That's the hard part.
It takes a little bit of commitment. Like I said, planning where you're going to wake up,
Right.
having an idea how your day's going to be, because then you're in a van.
I did an
Because
RV
if you're
thing.
at home and you say, oh, I don't feel
like
like
that.
doing anything today, you could do that at home and you
Right,
just
you can
vibe
just
out at
chill.
home.
Not so much in the van.
Especially my van, since it's so small, it gets like, so you don't do that. So I don't do it anyways, but nonetheless, you got to take that, you got to be disciplined. You're like, oh, you wake up, I make coffee, I clean the van out, up, I use the bathroom, I know where to go, where I'm at. I'm gonna go surf a little bit. I go back to my spot, maybe take a nap, write some emails, surf again, maybe take a dip, shower, sleep, and you have like your little.
Things slow down a little bit.
It's just not the same. I don't beat at the same drum no more.
Right.
It's just you're on your own, and then because I'm self-employed, I really lean into a schedule. I have routines in order
Right.
to be. If not, I
Right.
won't work. If not,
Right.
I just
Right.
I just
You'd
fucked
be the
off in the
expat.
water all day. 'cause the waves-
You're on a surf trip.
Right. You're
Yeah.
you're in that Greyhound bus that's been sitting on the side
You
of
can't
the road
because it's easy there.
Doesn't
'Cause
even
the
run
weather's so
anymore.
good, the food is good. I jump on my bicycle, I go to the diner, I make coffee. You just kind of start vibing out, and nothing gets done. So you have to be like, okay, super disciplined, and nonetheless. The van life, the highs are highs and the lows are lows. You want to mitigate those dips in the highs, because
I think that's an important saying that you were just saying there, as far as the highs and the highs being the lows.
Yeah,
and the
you want to
lows.
mitigate that wave. I drove from San Francisco. I took a highway up. I had a job in Lake Tahoe, and then from San Francisco, I had my van, and I drove it to LA. Yeah, if you don't have a good van, you're gonna have issues.
All right, Keeks.
Keegan's getting
Keegan
wild.
the
on
intern's
his own.
finding some humor.
You need a reliable van. My van breaks down. I'm under that thing all the time. Changed all the radiator hoses at different times. Alternator on the road, front wheel bearing, exhaust came off. I tightened that up.
Considering that you've been doing it for 2 months, considering these challenges that are getting at you right now, what's your shelf life?
How long can I keep it up in this van? Not long. But
I'm gonna be there in like 2 weeks.
No,
That's
I
still,
mean,
you still got it in the tank.
Bradley's going to get barreled.
I always say,
Bradley's gonna have his own van.
Yeah, that's a great question. I'm gonna rent a van. I think.
Chris, that's
I told you, I think the commercial
The U-Haul
van,
one?
Yeah.
what we said.
That's a great question because if you're not adjusting, your shelf life is done. You're done. So I'm constantly upgrading my living scenario in the van, upgrading
but
locations.
even within that situation,
Yeah, well, I have like an idea of how long. I have a loose plan of what I want. I wanted to do 1 month directly in the van.
Right.
And I feel like I've just done a week.
Right.
In my head.
Well, that's important because I was going to ask you. I'm
Yeah.
like, compared to what you thought you were going to do versus
Yeah.
what you feel
So,
like you're going to do.
It's very
how
difficult.
far off is it?
I'm learning how to do, like at the beginning, certain things were breaking me that now don't even affect me at
Like
all.
everything.
Yeah, so if I'm working
Hard
and
at first
it's
to try to learn something.
So if I'm working in studio, I'm doing something, and I'm in a van in Malibu, I have to learn where. Maybe I rent Airbnb the day before, clean up, or maybe you have to plan correctly. I take an Uber. I'm not gonna take the van to a job, or you start knowing that's
Don't wanna
easy.
creep
What do
them
I
out
do?
right away.
Laundry. How do I use the bathroom? These things. Once you start figuring these things out, then you're like, well, I have oceanfront property all over the PCH.
Do you find that? Sorry, excuse
Yeah.
me. Do you find that thought process and having to
That's
go
the
ahead
first
and-
time that anyone's actually apologized for interrupting each
That's
other on the show,
beautiful,
I think.
Chris. Thank you.
I think that is.
That's lovely.
That wasn't even bad. That was
Congratulate
actually
the
with the flow of the conversation. That was even.
Yeah, that was good.
What are you stopping for?
with
Nice, this guy.
the thought process of shit, where was I going with that?
Well, here, so I don't need to live in a van. Like, I could get an apartment.
Easy. That's
right?
so easy.
Like, I don't need to live in a van.
Right.
I could get an apartment. I'm in a van by choice.
I got where I was at. Within that thought process of how that's changed your approach to daily living because of necessities, do you find that process has changed your thoughts overall in other things or other aspects of your life?
I'm directly affected by the way I live my life. I preach about that shit all the time. You are what you repeatedly do. And I did this on purpose for it to affect my life. I said, well, I want my photography to change. For my photography to change, I have to change. How do I change? I change what I do every day. I change my surroundings. You want to change a little, or you want to change a lot? We're not going to pussyfoot something, and
That's pretty basic.
and then I say, what is it that I want to do?
Right.
What do I want to do? Oh, I want to surf and be disconnected from shit. That was an obvious, and I was able to. That happened, and now I could never go back to the way I was before. The way I process, the way I've felt when I'm producing my work, I like that more than what I was before. I feel like I'm more me.
Now.
Yeah. I feel like the little time alone.
You get more you every day.
Right.
Yeah, but
it's so much more
that's a
carnal.
goal.
It seems like it's so much more carnal. It is so much more like rooted in the necessities.
Right. This is the difference between someone telling, like, if I like to be alone, and I spend a lot of alone time. But in Miami, I'm never alone, even if I'm alone, because my network is here. Phone calls, I'm going to go out for a second, and I'm going to call you. I'm going to go by the surf shop.
Yeah, and all of a sudden,
Over there,
6 hours later.
No, and over there, I don't know anybody.
That's not true. You know people there?
But compared to the way my network is here, I know very few people there.
Right.
Like
Yeah, but you're also regimented enough to turn your phone off. So like you could
correct,
fucking take time by yourself.
but it's a
if you
little
wanted to.
different.
Right.
Like if
I get it.
It's just so that.
What is it that you get? I'm not getting.
Yeah, I'm gonna elaborate.
Well,
so
his network is a lot deeper here, growing up here and just kind of doing stuff and whatnot, so that you could literally just be here and know that
If I
at the
wanted to
at the
do so.
whim of any sort of anything, you can be half a phone call
Okay.
away from
That's-
being able to be entertained or be somewhere.
Yeah.
Versus over there that you might have a network of people that you know, but at the same time, it is not just at the whim. It is more planned out than it is more spontaneous.
but-
Yeah, because it has to come at the expense
but
of.
that's a
the
big thing to
convenience.
say. I do have a network there, and without that, it would probably make my scenario exponentially harder.
Right,
Like,
but at the same time,
probably
like a
could've
lot,
broke
but
me.
that network and the things that you have to do, it has to be more planned out
Yeah, so-
than it does when you're here.
But and then what I like about the way I'm living
Or less
is
even because you can't plan it.
yeah. So what I like about what
You're just like, Okay, I guess I'll go to the bar with you guys.
Yeah, so that's what I was gonna say.
I don't have any other friends to hang out with. I was just gonna go up.
My options are limited, so yes, I
So
will go.
that's exactly what
That's
I mean.
fine.
Brian.
That's cool. I think that's actually some of the.
Because I don't know anybody or they're not there with me all the time, things happen that I never would have thought would have happened.
Yeah, exactly.
You get yourself, and that's what I like how it's affecting my work in those regards. You're like,
Well, that's
oh,
why people
shit.
travel.
No, it's
Right.
yeah, it's that.
So,
Oh wait,
you
or
wanna
some people.
It seems like you want to chat. Like people, I feel like I would personally travel to be able to challenge those personal, just normal protocols that I'm
Billy
used to.
speaks. Does that microphone work?
Protocols,
Let's check it out.
and at the end of the day, like I would challenge myself in that process that he does. You?
Yeah, I think it's a good learning. Like you learn a lot when you travel.
yeah. But you just put yourself in scenarios that you routinely wouldn't be in.
Yeah.
That's the whole idea of it, I guess.
It's beautiful. So that's something. There's a lot of aspects to it. Again, the highs are highs and the lows are lows. You want to mitigate that. But it's just when I make a decision on what I want, this is what I want. It's just I get too much out of it, and it's so new to me. I'm so curious. What's next? You guys can't wait. Brad's gonna come and visit. You guys got to come and visit. Then I could show you what I've found, and then I could see what's next. You know. In the next month, Brad comes. Mateo and Flora at their place. I'm going to Encinitas. Then from Encinitas, I want to go to Baja. That's happening this month.
Right.
I don't know what the fuck I'm going to get. Am I going to go on a road trip to Quito with a bunch of, you don't know how that affects my photographs.
So you're saying I should bring my passport?
Yes. But you don't know. Like, what if you get there and you're like, dude, let's go. And I fill the car full of beers and women and surfboards, get the fuck out of here. And then we go.
Bradley's bummed right now.
Rudy, let's go.
Like right now.
Or
What do you?
and then you tell me, hey, I got this thing in Santa Barbara. I could go. I'm
Wait,
open.
that sounds like the opposite direction.
Nah,
We have 2 vans. How much more
Like,
beer
I
do we
got
need?
there.
Vancouver
there.
Island.
You know, Chris, I get there, and because I'm there, I get a job in Lake Tahoe. Never been to Lake Tahoe. Lake Tahoe fucking is bananas.
If Lake Tahoe had waves, I would live.
Oh my God,
Never
dude.
been. I've heard it's amazing.
Lake Tahoe. Awesome.
It was so lovely.
Chucky,
It's brilliant.
all that.
Yeah.
It's so awesome.
So you get those experiences. Then you drive and you, because you're not in a rush, you're saying that locals say, oh, go surf the hook or go surf this spot.
No names.
Yeah.
So that's awesome. And in this process, obviously it's adjusted you. It's changed a little bit of your perspective and how you do things for the most part. And the way that a lot of what you do is because of the fact that you get to work on your own terms.
Yeah.
You know, other people don't. You know, and so these experiences may not affect them the same way that it does you. Do you find that within, and I think I just asked this a little while ago as far as how much it changes you, you're a photographer, and you've got a certain brand and a certain look. Does this change the brand a little bit? Does it add to it?
I feel it. I can smell it.
I've been staring at that paper for a while.
Well,
So you want to get into the next thing?
So I mean, the next topic.
next topic
Let's-
is
the next
what?
topic is individualism and personal branding.
So that's like
You know,
how
it's,
you.
I think it's
put
your
your-
approach. I mean,
Yeah.
we could all probably have a little different perspective, but I think
It's a terrible topic name. It's just exemplary for what we're trying to encapsulate there.
right. So how would you put it into
I don't know.
more
you
layman's terms?
You were talking about like we got us into like we're talking about like just Instagram, and that's like one of those sort of like symptoms of a root cause. It's like, why is Instagram? Why do people talk about Instagram? Why do people post things about themselves on Instagram and not other things? Or why do people say, oh, don't post that picture of me? Or, oh yeah, I like that picture. It's because they have this
platform.
Yeah, they have this idea of what they want to portray.
As themselves, and I guess in a sense, like whether you're doing it for business or not, in a way you're kind of protecting your brand, who you are as a
exactly.
person, irregardless if whether or not there is actually money or a
Brad.
business that is coming out of it.
Chris,
So,
like we're aware that individualism.
well, I mean, is everyone? Because I
no, I
Whether
get
they
what you're
are,
saying.
they aren't. They do it.
right.
You know, it's like
Is it subconscious?
Yeah,
no,
and it's instinctual.
But that's what I'm saying. So
We're living in a different time. Social media and everything that we have as far as technology is completely different than it was 15 years ago.
But regardless, it's always been one way or another. What I'm saying is, for my philosophy towards it all, my life affects my output and affects what I do. I don't have a 9 to 5, and then I don't. So it's all meshed. So I'm directly correlated with the way I brand myself. It's part of my lifestyle. It kind of.
So your lifestyle is your business.
Yeah, it's what I can't separate the two. If I'm living in a van, my photographs are lending themselves that way. If I'm living in New York City, my photographs lean towards that. You'll see it. It'll be obvious.
That's unlike Chris could
humanize it all.
Chris could live in Brickell.
Yep.
Or you could live in a tent on the beach.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Or whatever, and run the surf shop.
Right.
You could still be the guy that
That's
is
still running
here
the surf shop. Yeah.
running the shop.
So I think it's very primitive, and I don't think people.
That's not like that in other.
No, I don't think people think about personal branding and individualism. I think people naturally, being the type of ape that we are, follow, and they fall into trends, and very few people lead a pack. Or one of the reasons why I enjoy the people that I'm surrounded is because they're individuals. You're my friend because you're an individual. You don't follow suit. You don't follow suit. You definitely don't fucking follow suit. None of us, we're kind of independent in our own right. Nobody's following.
I think we're comfortable.
Especially with the way that we surf.
Yeah.
Style is something that it's been taken away. I don't know. It's,
and
people. Yeah.
And style is your own personal, your own perspective towards life. You're who you are, and who you are is a byproduct of what you think about and what you do every day. So it all correlates for me. So I value aesthetic, style.
Keegan really wants to say something.
got two words.
Style changes over time. Like you can
Keegan,
tell.
come here.
Get in there. Filler. We gotta
Tag it.
The ground.
Tag in, tag out.
You can
Hey,
tell
wanna get in
style
here?
has changed over time. Like in the 80s, you wouldn't have the same style of surfing you have now.
Because the things weren't happening the same. Everything's
Exactly.
different. That's why it's not the same. All I'm saying is
So we're in agreement.
no. All I'm
Case
saying,
closed.
No.
Podcast ended.
but what I say and what makes me sad, and we were talking about
Sad. Really?
Instagram. Yeah, it's kind of sad to me. With the social media, now it's like we see the numbers now. We see how many people are followers and how many people are leaders. It's like a wolf pack, there's like one who's setting a tone. Very few people set tonality in their own branding. And you see it in people's feeds. And nobody wants to stand out and be their own pack, you know? What do you think, Bill?
Another thing is that like with the Instagram and stuff, is everyone's saying it's like anti-social media because you're like, no one's like looking.
Oh,
What's
good
going on in front of
perspective.
them.
Yeah.
It's like
I feel that.
if you go to a concert, like
Everyone's like,
everyone's
no one's watching.
No
the
one's
guy
watching.
Sing.
I hate that.
Yeah.
Everyone's videoing. Everyone's got their phones out. You see
I
a
don't like
wave. You see like the most perfect wave in the world.
They're like
they've got their video camera out, bro. Like put it away.
Yeah, I mean, it's a good and a bad thing. I just don't like it.
I really like that you guys say that.
Yeah. You gotta
It's
keep
important.
it local. I mean, it's.
Yeah, like
You
for
gotta
me,
hide the secret.
social media is a part of my business. But
That's it. That's business.
But it's not my business. It's just a part of it. I love expressing
It's
myself.
not your real life.
Like as far as
That's a whole other thing.
There's a
Like,
whole
there's business, and then there's people that try to like make a perception of their. And like, look, I've got my own personal account, and if you scroll through it, my life looks pretty awesome. It's just like picture me like coming off the beach with my friends, mostly surfing.
Yeah.
It's like, of course that looks good.
I wonder how many photographers will not be photographers if Instagram is gone, or how many models won't be models, or
Well, it gives
how
them a
many
platform for a lot
Yeah,
of-
but if that platform wasn't around, where would they be? Would it just?
It would be 35 millimeter pictures.
No, I'm just saying. A lot of these people are what they are, or they say they are, because of a platform.
For sure.
Like you can't reach out to people if you don't have that you just it's kind of like dilutes. I'm a photographer. I've been a photographer before the media. I'm gonna be one after.
Yeah, that's a whole other sort of like.
I think about that.
And it does change. Like the media or the technology does change society, and so like you guys are saying, like if it's weird to you guys that people are on their phone filming a concert instead of.
But I
watching.
love documenting. I do it all the
Weird to
time.
you guys?
Yeah. See. Yeah. I was surprised.
It's weird. It's weird to me that a kid isn't filming.
Yeah.
Right.
Because you would expect that because of technology and everything else that they would.
It's
That's what I was saying.
It's all about like face-to-face conversations versus at a concert you see they used to do lighters and now it's iPhone lights.
Yeah. Right.
So it's
It's
just
a
a
weird
different
one.
time, you know.
Yeah, like I like documenting. I've always documented and took
But
photos
that's
of
the
my
part
friends
that I think
and
is
put
like
it out there. And
he is, in my mind, qualified to do that.
Oh, for sure.
You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
I dabble in it every once in a while. Like, I'll take my phone out because I think something's interesting to my eye, and I'll be
Yeah.
like, I wonder if I could like make that look cool to me. And so I'll try to do it, and then I'll post it out there for some sort of validation if I'm on the right track, whatever. But that's just like me like screwing around with art.
Yeah.
I know that this is like what he does. So it's like if I'm going to a concert, I'm not trying to take photos. I'm going with him, and if he brings his camera, I know he's gonna take awesome photos of something awesome.
Right.
I'm not even trying. You know, it's like it's not my job to go out every day and document life.
I wonder.
I mean, you know, Beach High. How many kids are on Snapchat?
Oh, jeez.
Tell the story.
There's no one that's not on Snapchat.
I'm the only one that's my age that doesn't have a
ThankYouSurfing
Snapchat. They're like, you
is
don't
not
have a
on Snapchat.
Snapchat. It's like
Surfing
a.
is not on Snapchat.
Right, Billy, you
Wait,
need Beach
wait,
High?
Where did you get that?
No,
Billy,
let's talk about him.
Oh, okay.
He just hangs out at
I
Beach
know.
High.
I'm like.
Wait a minute here.
You just
My
tripped
question
Chris
is,
out.
Brad.
He was like, wait a sec.
Right, what would happen if Instagram didn't have comments or likes?
It would just be a platform and people.
Like, what would happen? What would be the machinery? How would it? It would be totally different.
No, it
It's
wouldn't
like
work.
Facebook before Facebook.
That's how they. That's like it's. There's a certain like.
But you have followers, but
well,
no
there's a-
comments or likes.
It's. There's
So
other.
it sounds like it's all social media is ego driven.
Yeah, it would be develop. It would develop
very
differently.
ego-driven. Yeah,
Yeah.
of course. Yeah, and they even have like the algorithm set so that people have already like I could post something, and you have already liked it, like shown that you actually gone through the time of saying like I did it like that.
I will like your post.
Right, but it won't let me know that until it thinks that the dopamine levels in my brain are depleted enough to give me your like.
So it's not
No.
real time.
Yes.
It is not real time.
No,
It's
not.
real. Oh, get out of here.
It's not real time.
Oh, fuck.
That's
That's fucking
they
wild.
withhold.
We're blowing minds over here.
They
I'm
withhold
too high for this
reporting.
shit.
They withhold
the fuck
reporting
out
of
of
your
And it's
like.
Allegedly.
better to drip feed
Allegedly.
it than to give you a bunch at once.
They've got whatever opinion they have on that.
La Flaga's here.
Terrifying.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, and the only reason like I can like
I
sort of,
didn't
like,
mean anything that I
understand
said before she got here.
or do this stuff is because there's enough people that we interact with that like you can see what's real stuff
Shit, you
and
shot
what's
at something
fake
in the
stuff,
photo?
and you get
Wow.
it's yeah, man. Like
So how
that's
about
why
the
it's-
Dolphins?
That's why it's really important, like, to do what you like your sort of like experiment of what Instagram is put what you want out there because you think it's good, and you like it, and it brings you joy to show other people that or whatever, and that's it. Like that should be it.
I can't believe that it's anything but that. The fact that someone would put something.
Well, you're a
because somebody
professional.
else-
You know
Right,
how
no, no, I'm
hard
not
it
a
is?
professional. I'm just saying
but
that's
you're
the
a
way I think.
photographer, so like you've trained your mind, and I think you discount it. There's a lot of like people that I know that are like really talented in different ways, and they don't understand how talented they are. And like that's one of the ways that you are. It's like you know how to go through that process. You know how to look at your own work and be like shit, and like 99 shit before you're like maybe not shit. I'll move it over. Shit, and you're like
Yeah, really fast.
That's hard.
Well, because again, it goes back to people thinking.
To see
Yeah, I think you
be
got to
that
think
critical of
about it.
yourself
You
is
got to
hard.
cultivate it in your brain, who you want to be,
it.
and then that's how you get there. If you don't have an idea of where you're going, you're not going to develop anything. If you say, I always say to people like, well, you want to be a photographer? What images affect you the most? You want to look at the greats. You want to shoot as high as you can. If you're starting a business, you want the idea to be as high as you can. So if you miss a little bit, you're missing here. And the way I got into it all, like anything, you say, well, how do I want to do this? Van life, how do I want to do it? You pick up a broad picture and you narrow it down from there. You're like, this is it. And you start honing and you work on it because it's who you are. So even when I shoot for brands, I kind of try to be myself. I try to shoot what affects me. That's how I feel of myself. I shoot what affects me.
It's kind of like
very childishly, I approach
It's kinda
van
like-
life. Childishly,
You
what do
wanna-
I like? I want to wake up next to the water and surf, eat burritos.
Keegan?
Very childish. And you monetize that.
Keegan's got something.
Yeah.
it's like you kind of want to like let other people know how you feel, like how you want them to feel, like how you're feeling when you took the photo.
Exactly. Thank you.
Well, that's the point.
It's lovely.
Right?
Hey, yeah, but you would think.
If you can stick to that,
Yeah.
I think
You want to
pretty
try
well
to
served.
translate.
It's got to be hard to do that.
Yeah, you want to try to translate how
true
you
to the
felt in
message?
that moment, and then let their own interpretation of it all.
Because how about this? So that's a great thing to like stick to.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
But now
Thank you, Keegan. Well, very
Rudy
well said.
has to do that for a living, say.
Yeah.
And so he's like, I got 6 hours to make that come through.
Yeah.
And then you look through what you got, and maybe your eye says, I got all awesome stuff.
It's so
or maybe
important to
I
ask
got
yourself.
all crap
then-
stuff. And what happens if you get all crap stuff?
Well, I'm just saying.
How do you hold yourself to that
But you have to
standard?
do what you're doing. A lot of people don't do this. A lot of people say, well, I'm going to study the craft of photography and try to shoot. Instead of saying, okay, I want to study what affects me and develop that. And why did I create that at that time and not at this time? Oh, I had control of my surroundings. Oh, the way I communicated with the subject, or I waited till the right time of day. Like, there's a lot of variables, but you have to ask yourself these questions. A lot of people
that's
go
just
the-
photography based. But what
No, I
about
don't
it's
think
more
that's
like
that.
But
individual?
don't be a would, be a should.
What the fuck?
What do you mean?
Don't be a would, be a should. Like,
Yeah, like I try to just put myself in the right scenario. Even with the van life, I think it's everything. You wanna be you. Yeah. I think.
nah, I'm looking over here.
Personal branding for you guys. Apparently,
It's like a whole different thing with Surf Expo nowadays, like we were talking about earlier. Like you said, it was back in the day, it was wild, and nowadays it's way more. Don't do that.
Sophisticated.
yeah, but there was also like all brands that were sort of like dictating that. So like the brand would say like do all this stuff.
They're the trendsetters.
Like yeah, they were the brand would say like
If you do this, I give you clothes.
Yeah, it's cool to like do cake stands,
Yeah, yeah.
throw up in the corner, and then like
Go again.
and then do it again and like break down stuff. So like the more you do that stuff, the more like whatever.
Attention.
Yeah.
But then in the
now it seems like that it's more like the brands are coming to say people like you, Billy, would be like, oh, like we like the style that you have, we like the approach that you have. We want to take some of that and pull that into our brand. It's like I saw you walking around Expo and like brands were coming up to you and being like, I don't know who you are, but we want like what you do, what you're doing. So it feels like the branding is going more like
It's
into like what you think is cool, and then the brands are adopting that.
Look at
yeah,
that
they're
face.
coming up to you and saying, "Here's a contract, sign it, and where are all our stuff?" And
Yeah, because as people
we'll get it for
change,
you, you know.
as people change, I feel like brands aren't gonna be like, all right,
Keegan's
you're
the
gonna
future,
take our
man.
stuff and accept it. You're gonna like, we're gonna adapt to you because as
To
future,
how you are.
as yeah,
That's as the
as we grow
yeah,
as like a
exactly.
society,
Yeah,
like
you're like
it's more of like a personality based thing,
for sure.
right? Like your
I don't know, that's why I'm
personality
asking
is
you.
growing. Your personality is growing, and you can't
Brasky.
base it on something else. I don't know if anyone understands me. It's like I'm on the next level.
I think you're on the right. I don't know about the next level, but you're on the right page, Keegan.
We're trying to figure it out.
I
That's
think
why we have
again,
you.
for me, it's all the same. The van life, personal branding, individualism. I'm lucky enough that I can mix. I think first of all, I'm lucky enough that I'm aware that it's all congeals in a way. It all comes together. Where the way I live my life is gonna fall into my personal branding, which is gonna fall into what I produce. And that's gonna make me an individual or not. The more aware I am of what I'm doing, the more individualized it becomes. Intelligence helps you dissect things, you know why you're doing stuff, and you can pull that back.
Yeah, for sure.
You know, my DNA is based off like, X, Y, and Z, I'm gonna be more aggressive, so I'm gonna pull that back, you know, whatever, etc. And you just could be an individual based off all that.
It's all about personality.
There it is.
It's all about how you carry yourself as
Yeah.
well. That's another big.
But yeah, you could have like this vision of what you want to be, but you have to live that vision of yourself, and that could be hard in and of itself.
But that's the beautiful thing about being human. You could have a vision and then pursue that vision.
That's it.
I mean, when you don't do that is where I'm like, all right, well, what happened wrong here.
Or some people don't even have a vision at
Yeah,
all.
you should shoot as high as you fucking can. Whatever, you can start and stop at any time in your life. Yeah, from my personal experience, you only get one crack at it all. If we get another one, sick. I'm excited. But if we get one at it, and then I say, well, fuck, I'm gonna try to just do what I yeah. YOLO.
Knowledge over here.
No, when I see people, like I've had a lot of people, reach out to me on Instagram.
Bring it back
Like,
to Snapchat.
awesome, man. Thank you so much for doing this. Keep posting.
YOLO and
I'm like,
Snapchat.
you could do this too, man.
Interesting topic.
Like, just maybe some people could do it sooner than others. But I do it for people that can't as well. But I keep reaching out. I'm for it, and I keep doing it for the people who can't. I catch myself in scenarios. It's like, well, I gotta do it because there's a lot of us that can't. So,
Right, and at the end of the day, we're all a vessel,
yeah,
right? I mean, and we're all just drifting through this great big world.
Here we go.
There we go. I'm back. I'm back, ladies and gentlemen. I am back.
You're back.
But that's
segueing into an outro here. Sounds like
Hey,
we're gonna have constellations
you look,
shortly with the moon.
Chris.
Sage is burned
You're
last
aware
night.
of
Some
this.
Palo Santo.
There was.
We all feel. We all go through pains and emotions and shit, and it links to our work. Sometimes for better,
Everything.
sometimes for worse.
Well, within those moments, they allow for an experience to happen, right? And within that, the experience in itself is what dictates what your next feeling is going to be, or your next thought is going to be, and what you're going to kind of do from
And
there
it
on
rolls
out.
The
into
whole
that.
thing is just experiencing.
Right.
Just keep
Continued experience.
Yeah.
Right. Open yourself up to the experiences.
Yeah.
That's it. Good, bad.
like
It
you-
is.
I mean, there's a learnable moment as there is a teachable moment in just about anything.
exactly.
You know, and you go through the process. If you're not growing, you're not living.
Yeah, pretty much. And travel has a lot to do with that.
Travel as much as you can.
Travel just fast forward.
Yeah, I mean, allows you to be open to what's going on out there in the
forcefully.
world, right?
It's
And
like, oh, I don't speak Chinese. This is gonna be very foreign.
this is
bring us out of here, Ray.
You had the segue going so good. Rudy,
yeah.
Got anything else?
Present.
present.
Oh no, yeah.
Listen to the podcast on the way up coast.
Oh yeah,
everybody.
That's
If you haven't seen that, Ray, stop by Green Lines. Say what's
Grab
up
some
to this
more
guy.
Yes. All right. Quickly. I am going to keep documenting my experiences in Cali, and hopefully my work keeps lending itself to that. That's my thing. I don't have anything
going,
much
Rudy.
planned. There are a lot more road trips.
Yeah, you're killing
Yeah.
it.
Thank you guys for the people who support it. It gets tough out there.
Yes.
Not easy out there for a pimp. So I'm grateful for the people who reach out to me.
And I will say, as the sole owner of
these
First
aspirations
Surf
out there.
Shop,
That's it. It's like
the
the Palo
sole
Santo later.
owner of First Surf Shop, I will say that I will try to continue to keep the platform open. To,
10 years.
Lovely.
To
This
make
is just the beginning.
all
Wow.
of what we do
Just the
continue to make things happen. Like
And you
I mean,
will, dude. You got the
I mean,
support. I got you.
I think we've got a
got that logo
curated
Yeah.
community in which that we've got so many talented people, and I'm so stoked that I get to surround myself constantly between so much talent on so many different levels, and like people are just doing it naturally, and that's just them, and that's what I want to continue to do, what I do naturally, and just be me. And I want to
it.
thank
Develop
you
that,
for
yeah.
being part of that in
Fuck
the
yeah.
whole
Thanks,
process.
brother.
You, Bradley, as well. Keegan, everyone, Caleb,
Mr. Bill.
Billy
Doctor.
Marshall,
The goat.
Gerardo over there in the corner. Sophie over
Flaca.
there in the crowd. Like all of it.
Bobby.
Bobby that makes things
Did you say
happen in the whole
Parliament?
community.
The Parliament.
Brandon, out in Valley. Like all of it.
21st
All of it.
birthday.
Listen,
Down
we
like George
all,
Clinton.
we all
Just letting them all know.
Bobby, Parliament Funk.
All right, what's
honestly,
new with
like,
you, Brad?
We all have a thing
Always
going
gonna-
on, and
What was your what's going on with you? For you out? You're going to go to Cali, that's right?
that was a lot of pressure.
Seriously, I'm like, I gotta put all these things out there.
Yeah, you're going to Cali?
Actually, you know what? I read something that I put out
read the book
for
the
my
other
New
day.
Year's. I am writing a book though.
Really?
A memoir?
When's
Yeah,
it come
fuck
out?
this
I'm writing a
shit.
business book.
Ah.
You'll like it.
Keegan's like, that sounds boring.
Come on. You're going to go to Cali. You're going to come visit
I
me.
see a
It's
single
the-
number in
the
there.
whole thing that I've been
Stop
working
it.
on this
That
year is-
chapter, that's it.
No naked images.
Tell us.
Spending time with people that are good people, and devoting my time to things that are worthwhile ventures and good things to work.
As we
your
all
time
should.
on.
As we all should.
It's just hard to know what those are, but keeping your eye on the ball is just like, look,
There you go, Brad.
good people, good
Bratsky.
good initiatives. Just that's it. That's all that really matters.
And he's coming to Cali, so he's gonna
See,
be
that's another one of those things.
coming to Cali. Be ready.
Serendipitous.
Be ready.
Serendipitous
guys.
moment.
Puerto Rico,
Bradley
Thanksgiving.
takes over Cali.
I will document him
Hey-o.
and his travels
East
while
Coast,
he's there.
West Coast.
Well, when he sleeps in the van with you, head to toe.
No,
No, it's a full cuddle. It's a full cuddle.
Wait,
It's
wait,
it's cold.
wait, wait,
It's November. It does get cold.
Wait, here's
Two
the
vans
question.
is gonna be bumper to bumper.
Who's big spoon? Who's little spoon?
I don't care.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, that's why I love Rudy. He's just like, he's just easy peasy,
Yeah.
coconut squeezy.
What about
think
you?
it's
What's
lemon
new?
squeezy.
What's going on? Yeah, what's your out?
Come by Delray. Come see me at the shop.
That's
I'm
right.
not in the
Green
water.
lines.
Doing 7 turns to the beach at Delray.
I might go visit.
Exactly.
I go visit.
Well, you know, he's on a log.
Come get some shorts.
I don't know about shorts, but I'm gonna visit and say hi.
Definitely.
Rudy's doing the outro.
Yeah, I think he just did.
That was it, dude. That was our outro.
Who are you?
Do you want to do the whole thing?
Episode 40, October 26th, in the books.
And
Yes.
this is called.
Talk story.
Talk story.
story.
On the way up
From
coast.
Thank You Surfing.
From Gracia Surfiar.
And where are we at?
Estamos en la playa, la primera calle, surf shop.
¿Verdad?
Yes, we are first
We have to
Billy?
surf
use
shop.
Spanish voiceovers to have
Yeah.
them more often.
Coming at you from South Beach.
Yeah.
This is
Pata
Talk
Sucia
story.
Surf Club coming
Courtesy of
coming
Thank
to
You
a
Surfing.
town near you in Cali.
It's got Bradley Wells over here on the right hand side.
Mr. Calibers, gracias.
You can call me Dela from First Surf Shop.
Cagan.
Linwood.
Billy Goat.
That's Keegan's name
Billy
in Spanish.
Goat.
Cagan.
You got the back of Keegan's head.
Yeah.
You know,
All
we
right,
might
guys.
almost have to sponsor his hat.
Thank you guys
Just
for
so
having
it's
me.
Just like get some good
Welcome
shine.
back.
Yeah.
Thank you, studio
Return
audience.
guest. Thank you.
Keegan, the
Stay
intern.
black, everyone.
Thanks for
Everybody.
joining, watching, and listening every week. Tell your friends. Listen on YouTube. Listen on Instagram.
Spotify.
Listen on Spotify.
On the
Watch
way up
news.
coast.
Subscribe, rate, review,
On
all the
Anchor.
things.
All the things.
Email us.
Rudy Dubois.
Alexa,
at Rudy Dubois.
play me Talk Story.
Hashtag.com.
You could do that.
You
I
can't.
tried.
It's awesome.
Don't tell me it didn't work.
Bob Ross.
We'll see you tonight.
Bro.
See you tomorrow
What's
night.
going there?
See you tomorrow.